Ciao, sono Giancarlo. Welcome to the Making Waves podcast. I'm Giancarlo Nadeau. This is the official podcast of your coastal tsunami. This is the Making Waves podcast, and joining me now is Anthony Domagola. Anthony, man, como stai? How you doing? Thanks for doing this.
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? I appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, no, super excited, man. Doing very well. Thanks so much. Can't wait to finally meet you here in the next couple of weeks. Thanks so much for hopping on. I got to ask you here, Anthony, your name looks pretty Italian. Can you quickly talk to me about that?
Yeah, no, I got pretty deep Italian roots. I can credit back to my great grandfather, the original Anthony Domagola. I think that's where I get it from.
Yeah, there you go. My next question here
We'll
for
say
you.
there.
Talk to me quickly about where you were born.
Yeah, so I'm actually originally born in Syracuse, which is about central New York, and I moved out to Buffalo to start high school. I've been living there ever since. So, a little shout out to my folks back in Buffalo.
Now, oftentimes when you think about America, you think about football, but you're not a football guy, you're a hockey guy. So, what kind of puts you in that direction?
Yeah, so I think not really too sure what drew me to hockey. I started when I was I think like 6 or 7 years old. Funny enough, I ended up playing football in high school a little bit, but I don't know. I think it's one of those kind of hard to explain. It kind of just had that calling, for hockey, and like I said, the impact it's had on my life has been just phenomenal. It's something I'll be forever grateful for.
I love it. I love it. So, most of the time, this next answer, a lot of the players will hit me with the Vancouver Canucks. For you, I have a feeling it's going to be different. Who's your favorite NHL team?
Yeah, so I think it nowadays pains me to say it, but so I got to be loyal to the Sabres. I think Edmonton kind of grew on me a little bit. I watched McDavid a lot when he was in Erie. Again, pains me when he ended up getting drafted to the Oilers, but I can put them at number two, respectable.
Well, you kind of brought him up already. Connor McDavid, he's certainly a great player. Is he one of those players that you kind of model yourself?
Um, I think not necessarily. I don't think there's any guy specifically that I try to model my game around. I want to kind of create my own identity. It's one of those every team you're on, you're going to have a different role. The game's growing, evolving, and changing every day. You got to be able to adapt and adjust. So, I kind of take little pieces from a bunch of different guys, that I've watched since I was younger. But, like I said, I don't think I necessarily have two or three specific guys because I want to kind of build my own identity as a player.
I love it. Great answer. What position do you play?
Typically I play forward. I can play on the wing, play in the middle. I've been working a lot on my draws this summer. Kind of being able to be thrown in wherever needed.
Right on. Great answer. Okay, I got to bring this up here because it's not every day I get to say this. You're 6'5". Like that's insane. So yeah, for those of you that need to hear that again, Anthony here, 6'5". How do you use that frame out on the ice there?
Yeah, no, I think like I said, it kind of ties into my whole game. I like to use my size, my advantage. One of those guys you're always going to catch in the corners in front of the net. Looking to lay the body. I think this my size is definitely kind of the center of my game, and I try to utilize that as best as possible.
Last season, you were a part of the USPHL. You were at the Elmira Impact. Talk to me about how that went for you.
I think it was a pretty interesting year. There was a lot of opportunity for growth. Our team necessarily wasn't the most successful, but as an individual, I was able to learn a lot. Both on and off the ice, gave me the chance to grow as a player. Maturity wise, grow off the ice, and it's given me all the experience to get me to where I'm at today, which is take the pros and cons like you do at every situation. But I think overall it was a positive experience, and I'm grateful it happened because it set me up to taking this next step this season.
Yeah, 7 goals, 5 assists, 12 points for you in 32 games. Is that something you want to build on this season?
I think 100%. Yeah, I think my production last year had improved from the previous year, so it is considered um, an improvement. But I think that's definitely one of those things I want to improve on. I want my stat sheet to go up. And I think part of that's going to be including using my size, using my hands in front of the net, and kind of utilizing those key aspects of my game and trying to turn it into more offensive production.
Oh, for sure. I can certainly see you using your size to your advantage out there. and it's definitely something that the Tsunami are going to need. But another interesting point here, Anthony, and a question for you. It's kind of an interesting situation because you kind of just turned 20, so you're in your final year of junior hockey, but at the same time, you haven't even played a game in the PGHL yet. So even though you're 20, you haven't played in this league, but you're going to be considered a veteran player. You're going to be somebody that your teammates are going to look up to. What does that mean to you?
I think obviously it means a lot, having that role. I can even relate back to my first year, my rookie year in Buffalo, seeing, how I looked up to those older guys and, the lessons they taught me. And like I said, as I've matured over my career, I've seen a lot of things, experienced a lot, and I want to be able to apply that as much as I can to help, inspire the next generation of guys coming up.
Fantastic. You were the first player to commit with the team from the States, and there's going to be a few more along the way as the team moves on. But what's it like to know that you really are that first guy to represent your country here?
Obviously it's pretty special, having the opportunity to play, junior A in Canada, that's been a goal of mine for a very, very long time. Obviously it means a lot to myself and anyone who supported me along the way.
What do you know about this league? I know you're excited to be a part of it, but what do you know about it? Have you had a chance to kind of watch games online? Where did you hear about the Tsunami?
Yeah, so I think I got a chance to kind of watch some of the games, doing my research back in the spring, when I was coming down to decision date. I think the biggest things I've noticed and what I've heard from other guys who I knew have played in this league is, the speed, the physicality. That's a big one, and that's something where I think, the way I try to play, the way my game is based, I feel like I'm going to be able to thrive and help us, help us win hockey games, especially from a physical standpoint.
Well, your trek to get here is probably one that no other player in the league, I would say, is doing. Where are you coming from, and sort of where are you right now in terms of getting here on the Sunshine Coast?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm originally from Buffalo. I left there at about 5 o'clock this morning. Here in here at the University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. We're taking a little bit of a pit stop here. I'm kind of making my way up through Chicago, up through Minnesota, Wisconsin. I'm kind of detouring a little bit. I'm stopping up in Edmonton for a couple days. With one of my best friends up there. That's going to be super cool before shooting down on the Sunshine Coast. So we're slowly but steadily making our way across the country and up into Canada.
Well, you're doing it. You certainly look like you're enjoying it. I'm almost jealous of you, to be honest. It'd be pretty cool, a long road trip there for you. I get to see a lot of different things. A lot of exciting stuff happening for you, happening for this community. What are you most excited for this season?
Honestly, I think it's to be a part of the community. I've heard a lot about, how passionate they are, that we're getting a team there this season. I've already seen ticket sales doing pretty well. I want to be very involved with the community. I'm looking forward to coming out and helping out with the youth camp we have going on and kind of, spreading some of that awareness because, we want to get the energy flowing here before we take on Port Moody at home. So
For sure, couldn't agree with you more. Couple big games happening for the Tsunami, and of course, like you said, the home opener is certainly a big one, and that's going to be some exciting stuff. Tickets for that going to be available soon. Couple more questions here for you, Anthony, before I let you hit the road again. A lot of things going on this summer for you. Besides this big road trip, what has the off season look like?
I think it's been a mix of, obviously working, trying to make some money on the side. Obviously, that's going to help. But a lot of it's, like I said, focusing on my training, focusing on fine tuning the piece of my game that I think I need to improve on the most to, help better well around my game, between on ice, off ice, time in the gym, running, biking, skating, doing the skating treadmill off the ice, every little intangible that I can to help well around my game and put me in the best position to help us succeed when I arrive here in a week and a half.
There we go. You've said a lot of great things about this community already and about the Tsunami fan base, so I know you're going to be a hit, but this is your last chance here to give them one more message before they see you on the ice in September.
Uh, Buckle up. It's gonna be a hell of a ride. I can't wait to get out there and feel the energy for that home opener.
There we go. Anthony Domagola. Anthony, man, grazie. Thanks so much for doing this. I appreciate it. And really looking forward to having you on the team.
Yeah, I'm excited to come out. Thank you for having me on.
There you go. He's Anthony. I'm John Carlo. That was your newest episode of the Making Waves podcast. We're going to be back with a brand new one next week. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.